Buddy, it's another Friday. Where does the week go? I can't believe how fast it goes. So I want to today welcome you guys to my last soul journey. There we go. There we go. I'm like, it's a little dark. Of before the summer. And I have a very honored guest, somebody who I looked up to very profoundly, who has taught me a lot, who has given me lots of guidance. I've learned lots of things profoundly from. Her name is Tracy Trimble. We are just waiting for her to kind of log in, jump in. I think this is her first kind of live on Instagram, so we're gonna give her a little birth of time. But what I can do in the meantime is I can talk about her. She's a wonderful human being. So Tracy Trimble is a bioenergetic therapist, a spiritual guide, and a teacher. Tracy also has a PhD in metaphysical sciences, specializing in energy medicine, and a doctorate in metaphysical psychology, specializing in energetics. So she's no lightweight here, people. She also is trained in yoga, Reiki, and psychotherapy. So she is a well educated, well sought out professional. I know that she's helped me a lot as well, and I've worked with her very closely. I was able to take her self-mastery class on let's see if I can invite her. Let's say search. I was able to take, there we go. Okay, so I was able to take her self-mastery class in 2020 before the everything got shut down. So I took her 3-month class, and it was very profound, and made me realize a lot of deep things about myself that I'm still using until today. So you'll find that my clients and my students also hear a lot about her, and some of her teachings, like the velvet hammer, came from her. The way we process emotion through our chakras, also the teaching that I use from her. Amazing self-mastery class. There's lots of different things that I use that are just sayings or just lessons that I kind of have passed on through her, and I always give her credit because they're amazing. So we're just gonna wait a little while here. I think I did invite her. There we go. There we go. I think I just saw her sneak in. Let's see. All right. And where did the week go, guys? I have no idea. It's amazing how fast it goes. Like I have a Reiki level 3 class I'm teaching tomorrow. I'm very excited about. And Nancy and I today we were doing prepping for our Chakra Insight class as well. And there she is. There we go. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, there. She'll take the invite. Hey, Tracy, you need to, I invited you already, so you just, on the bottom of your screen where the cursor is to put in your comments, there should be a little, it looks like a little camera. So if you press in there, I think there should be my invitation kind of calling you in. Or you can request for you to come in. So yeah, so it's been quite a busy week, and I don't know where it went. Like I remember just being here. I felt like 2 days ago, doing an interview with Gabriel. So this is the last one this is episode number 14, and it's the last one for a little while. I'm going to kind of take a hiatus throughout the summer, and then hopefully I'll have some other exciting healers to kind of come in and interview, right? So there's some other exciting things that might be cooking in the background with interviewing some other healers as well. maybe a profound series of a different kind. So Tracy, there should be an invite that I sent you. So if you go either, like I said, to the bottom, and you either look at the little man with the arrow, or you look at the little camera with a plus, you should be able to kind of jump in because I've invited you. So hopefully that works. Let's see. Let's just relax. Hi, everybody. So, hi. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Princess Bud. How's it going? Hi, Allison. Yeah, there's lots of people. All right. Let's see. Let's see where we're at. There we go. Yes. So I see you, Tracy. You're in the chat, but I need you to action on the bottom. At the bottom, where we can leave a comment of the screen, there should be a camera with a little plus on it. So you can click on that, see if that goes in. There we go. Awesome. There we go. There we go. So we should. Oh, I should have worked. So there we go. That. Yay! We got it. We got it. We got it. There we go.
I was trying to do it on my computer, and it doesn't want to do that.
There we go. Yeah, Instagram is funny when it comes to computers. Yeah. So how are you, Tracy? I haven't seen you in almost close to 3 years.
Yes, probably. I am very awesome, thank you. I apologize, I didn't have an alternative setup, so I'm playing with my phone here. Let's see.
Take your time. This is very casual, so I'm very honored that you're here.
This is fun. All right, I'm going to put something here.
Yep.
All right, how's that?
I love it. I love this. That's why I love live. My friend and I today, Nancy, we were trying to film something on Zoom, and I got so nervous. I was like, I don't think I can do live, no problem. But it's the whole like scripted thing that I get all bundled up with.
Well, I'm technology. Allison's messaging me saying, get on your Insta account. I'm like, I have an Insta account? Where is that?
Yeah. So no, it happens. It happens. I know it's yeah. Nowadays it's Insta, no more Facebook, and then there's TikTok, which I'm not on, so I'm old-fashioned, I guess. I'm just a Insta. So yeah. And believe me, you and me, Tracy, we're figuring this out as we go, because I know how to do a live, but that's kind of about the extent of my technical abilities here on Instagram. I was trying to set up a poll, right, for my story, and I did it like 4 times, and it just wouldn't save it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to ask somebody that's done this before.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm gonna have to wait. I'm not gonna do it more than 4 times. So welcome to my Soul Journey Instagram live series. You are my very last guest of the season, and I'm very happy to have you here. I kind of sent you the invite with hopes and prayers that you'll be like, sure, yeah, no problem. And when you did, I was like, oh my God. I was like fangirling.
Well, I even think Allison might have said to me, she's like, you said yes to that? And I was like, oh yeah, what did I say yes to?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have you here. I've already kind of talked a little bit about your biography and your work as a bioenergetic therapist and guide, and about your PhD in metaphysical sciences and your doctorate in metaphysical psychology. So I know that you have a lot of of study but experience behind you, right? Yeah. But not only that, but you also have yoga and Reiki and psychotherapy. So that adds to the bulk of, you're not just one note kind of healer, you kind of heal in many, many different levels, right?
Right.
I've experienced it myself, and it's fascinating. I love your, I was hooked on your meditations on Mondays and or Tuesdays when you had them, back then.
Right.
So, so let's just start with the first question. And these are deep questions. They might seem easy, but they're not. So we can start with, unless you wanted to add anything about your background or add a little bit about as to where you find yourself working right now.
No, I think I'll weave it into your questions probably to make it as informal as possible. That feels good.
Excellent. All right. So the first question is, what would you like to share about your life journey so far that has led you to become a healer?
I think that my story is not unlike pretty much everyone else's, and for sure a lot of people. I came from a small town in Ontario, population 1,800, and I just wanted out of Dodge as quick as possible. My mom is a very, very powerful and incredible energy worker, and my dad is a Catholic military man. And just the combination of that was everything I didn't want to be. And so getting out of town as quickly as possible was the goal. And for me, that was education and learning. I put myself through university. I got into the corporate world right away. I climbed that ladder really quickly. I was a vice president of strategic planning for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I traveled around the world, and I was, swear word, miserable. I had what I felt was a devastating divorce, multiple miscarriages, unable to have children. My only life force was a job that I didn't love the job. I didn't even love the people. I just loved making money. And I was sick. And thought it was a serious disease. And it turned out that I was diagnosed with chronic depression and that I would need to be on medication for the rest of my life. And that just broke open the pot. Way back then, which would have been in the early, maybe the end of the 1900s. At the end of the 1900s, I found yoga. Why would I go to my mother, who was in my, and you know, I am her now, so I can say this, a whack job. I was not interested in any of those things, and I found yoga and meditation and psychotherapy, and all of those things made a big difference for me. And as I got more in this world, as you know, you get deeper in and you realize that you're healing you because this is what you're supposed to be doing and what you were doing before isn't. And that's just where it all spun off for me. But my love for learning is voracious. Like, you know, if I can learn something, the answer is yes. I will take the opportunity to learn that. So while my resume looks jam-packed and possibly impressive, none of it was done for any other reason than I could not wait to learn that. And then once I learned that, I needed what was next and what was next and what was next and what was next. And all of a sudden, it turns out to be a really cool resume for me to get out of the corporate world and get into energy medicine. And Reiki Reiki is my foundation, but it was my doorway into realizing how powerful we are as human beings. And that led to when I did my PhD, I had to prove that energy medicine was viable. And so what that's become is I've created something called the Human Being User Manual. And when I say I created it, I've created it what it looks like for human beings right now. God gave it to all of us, obviously, but it's inside of our cellular memory. And with my cultivation of gifts, I'm able to read what our purpose is on this planet, what our generational trauma is and how it expresses as our fear stories, and what our core values are that expresses our love stories, which is literally a map to being human. And then for my doctorate in metaphysical psychology, I had to come up with a proprietary treatment method. And so I created bioenergetic emotional trauma release and the program called Self-Mastery. So I have this map and a blueprint of how to use the map. And then COVID happened and gave us the opportunity to get online. I often say that that was the launching point for me, because in the August before the pandemic happened, I asked my, through email survey, I asked my client body, if I started doing things online, would you continue to follow along with me? And 85% said no. No.
Yeah.
So from August to March, my 3 to 5 year plan of getting online happened. And so I was very fortunate. My director of client care, Allison Saul, was able to see my vision, and literally from March to May, we built the entire program online, and that's the Self-Awareness Academy, which is what we've spent the last 3 years building.
Amazing, amazing. And is that based out of your self-mastery course too?
Yeah, so the beginning of it is called Soul Reveal Reading, and that's where I tell you what your divine assignment is, so why you're here, the path you're meant to be on, and how you navigate the outside world. But I also share with you the name of your generational trauma, so the fear stories or the shadow work that you're here to do on behalf of generations of cellular programming within your body. And then the bioenergetic emotional trauma release deprograms the generational trauma, reformats your frequency and vibration to what we call your trigger and your power energy. So the way in which you're meant to experience in alignment on this timeline. And we channel how your core values, or what your core values are and how they affect you. And then self-mastery, we reprogram your power energy into the 12 earth lessons. So for self, they're physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and character. For influential others, they're intimate love, parent-child, and social infrastructure. And for life, their career, finances, quality of life, and vision for the future. And so at the end of that 24 weeks, you literally have your own unique to you human being user manual. You have your guiding principles, what triggers you and what raises your frequency and vibration, and your entire life is reprogrammed to a higher frequency and vibration. And you have a blueprint to know when you don't feel mostly awesome, that you're being triggered, you need to take your power back, and you have on paper all the work we've created together, how to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. I'm like, sign me up. That sounds so good. Yeah, I loved that deep diving into not only myself, but just deep diving into emotions and knowledge and tapping deep within. So that's amazing. Let's move on to the next question. Have you discovered your life purpose? And if you did, how did that occur?
Yeah. So I know that my life purpose is that I'm a spiritual Zenagogue. Zenagogue means that you're a translator and a tour guide. So how that happened was, as I develop my spiritual gifts, as I do my own work diligently and honestly, as I choose to keep learning and growing, I've come to realize that I translate what your soul has been trying to tell you through your physical body pain, through your emotional incompetence, through your mental incapacity, through your spiritual disconnection, and through my spiritual disconnection, my emotional incompetence, my mental incapacity, my physical inabilities. And so knowing that I can read and provide that manual, I realize that the reason I'm here on this planet, my God-driven mission on this planet, is to make sure that as many people who want to know, who want to remember, have the tools to do it in this third dimensional reality that we still have to exist in. I love that there's 5-dimensional access, immediate and easy, but we still have to have jobs and look after our kids and brush our teeth every day. And so how do we do that from the premise that I am mostly awesome? And that's the question that I ask all of my students to ask themselves, but I ask myself twice a day. How do I feel right now? And if the answer isn't mostly awesome, I'm out of alignment in one of those 12 areas, and I have all the tools to get in. And so to come back to your question, yes, I absolutely know my purpose. It's to share the divine assignment with every human who will want to remember. And it came about through doing my own work diligently and honestly, and truly. Even, you know, Allison and I talked about this today. Like, today was a horribly hectic, overwhelming, and chaotic day, but it's just today. It's because, you know, the foundation has changed. We're creating new things, and so all of the sudden, the truth is, I'm mostly awesome. But if I wasn't doing this work, I hate my life. This is horrible. I can't do this. I'm never going to make it through this. Right? And that's not true. One day in one area of life didn't go the way I wanted it to. And so I'm still mostly awesome.
That's amazing. I love that. I like that attitude. And I totally resonate with that today too, because I woke up and I felt pretty good, and then my mind started going, yeah, but you haven't finished this, and you have this list to do, and I was like, no, wait a minute here. I get to choose what I believe and what I don't. So if I had to kind of like allow those thoughts to come, but not believe them, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I see it. So the next question is, what are some of the challenges you faced during your healing journey?
Anger was probably one of my biggest components, and recognizing that what was wrong with me wasn't everybody else's fault, that I needed to take responsibility for my own self. I think that the biggest, from like knowing that I'm human to understanding I'm spirit having a human experience, I think the biggest thing for me, and maybe even most of my patients, is the understanding of what mental illness actually is. And when I say mental illness, I mean the society diagnosed depression, anxiety, acute stress, chronic pain. I'm not talking about serious dysfunction of the mind. Right. We can give it as many names as we want. It's spiritual disconnection. When we're out of alignment with our truth, we are controlled by our generational trauma and our fear stories, and we get trapped in only one of two places. In Reiki, Usui called them by their true name: anger and worry. Anger is when we project too far into the past, we get stuck there, and we get depressed. Our body physically is absent of our soul's energy because we're stuck in the past. Right. When we project too far into the future, we go into a state of worry in which our ego is not in our body, and our body goes into panic. And it's worry. Worry becomes anxiety. And so the realization that my depression wasn't something wrong with my brain or my chemistry or anything that a little pill was going to fix, that I was swear word angry and it was everyone else's fault, and I needed to get my shit together because it's my doing and I shouldn't be living in the past. I need to get present in the moment. And that changed everything for me. Everything.
Yeah.
And so if there's anything that, and in this society, we're not allowed to be angry. And so
especially if you're a woman, right?
Oh, for
women,
sure.
now you're supposed to, there's this persona that we're supposed to be peaceful and calm, and we take, but never give. So I do have, I'm learning that relationship with my anger and allowing it myself. Sorry.
That's beautiful. If we aren't afraid to call it by its true name, anger, or its true name, worry, then we can heal it. But as long as we're going to avoid, ignore, and escape the root cause of it, which is spiritual disconnection, that anger and worry gives us tons of warning signs. We first get uninspired, then we start self-sabotaging, we render ourselves incapable of asking for help, and then it has to present itself as the energy of where we really are. If we're in the past, it's anger. If we're in the future, it's worry. And so it's literally our best friend saying, get back into the present moment, get back into the present moment, get back into the present moment, get back into the present moment. There's something wrong with what you're thinking and feeling.
Yeah.
It's not serving you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the present moment is always so abundant, right? And you can create whatever you want, right? That's where your power is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I feel you. I'm all tingly. I'm like, it's really resonating with me. So the next one's one of my favorites because I quote you a lot in this one in my other interviews. Is the question is, what is the one lesson you have learned and share with people all the time? And I know you have lots, and I love sharing your anecdote or story about the velvet hammer, right? And when the universe taps you on the shoulder and then goes, hey, and then it, shoves you, and then all of a sudden you're on the floor with Tweety birds on your head going, like just catches you, right? So I love that story, and I share it all the time with my clients and people, and that I've learned it from you, and it's true. I remember when I was doing the self-mastery with you, I had a lot of those moments where I was like, I'm okay. All of a sudden I'm like, why am I on the floor? Like, what happened? Like, what happened, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That is truly one of my favorites for sure, because what happens is that's the interlude or the precipice to actually step into energy medicine, to recognize that in order for you to hear or feel or to know when the universe is saying, hey, you have to start using all of these spiritual tools like meditation, chakra balancing, listening to what your body is trying to tell you, knowing who you want to be, which is the whole purpose of self-mastery. Yeah. If we don't know who we want to be, then we have no boundaries. If we don't listen to our body, we don't know when we've exceeded those boundaries. If we don't spiritually shower every day, then outside influences, circumstances, scene situations, and scenarios have a profound effect on us. Our bioenergetic field is 3 meters in diameter from our heart. Imagine that. Let's stay 3 meters away from each other. As far as your arms can go out, that is your personal space. That's the energy that you are entitled to own and consume. That is yours. And we shrink into these small little spaces that are not for us. And we can't hear, we can't feel, we can't think, we can't experience unless we engage that whole bioenergetic field. Well, how do we take that space back? Through spiritually showering. Every 24 hours, our bioenergetic field, the protective layer of our bioenergetic field, says, oh, anything that's still attached to us must be for us because we haven't denied it.
Oh.
And it drops in. 24 hours later, it drops in. And when it drops into our spiritual bioenergetic field, it becomes rules for ego to follow. So if you say to yourself every time you look in the mirror, oh, I hate myself, that's landing on the back end of your bioenergetic field. And if you don't wash that off, it's going to drop into your thoughts and feelings. If you don't clear that, it's going to drop into your spiritual bioenergetic field as if that is your truth.
Wow.
And so when we do things like Reiki, we're clearing our spiritual bioenergetic field. When we do things like chakra balancing, we're clearing our bioenergetic field. When we ground ourselves to earth energy, when we open our heart, when we connect to source, we're clearing our bioenergetic field. And so anyone, it could take, I have an 8-minute and a 28-minute version that I share with people with the intention that if you listen to that every day for 21 days, you actually now have a 90-second treatment. I'm grounded to Mother Earth. My heart is open to love and forgiveness. I'm connected to source. That energy flows through me, within me, and around me, and I'm protected. My bioenergetic field is clean. Doing that twice a day, 90 seconds, twice a day, you're clear of the outside influences, of attachments, of non-beneficial energies, and for anyone who believes in entities, because your bioenergetic field is clear and expanded. The problem is we don't feel dirty. But I want you to allocate it like this. Don't brush your teeth for 3 days.
Yeah.
Don't wash your hair for 3 months.
Right.
That's what your bioenergetic field feels like. And the more you meditate and you sit in that bioenergetic field and you own that space, you feel when something else has gotten into it. Just like you do when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I need to brush my teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings awareness.
It brings awareness. And that's what the Velvet Hammer antidote came from, is that if you don't clear your bioenergetic field, the universe is going to be like, are you sure you want to invite this in? And you don't reply, and it drops in. It's like, it's knocking on the door now. And if you don't reply, it drops in to your spiritual bioenergetic field. That's a magnet. So that I hate my body just became a magnet and is now attracting to you people, places, things, scenes, situations, and scenarios that's going to prove to you that your body is horrible.
Right. Yeah.
Wash it off. Brush your bioenergetic field.
Especially with empaths and really sensitive people, that's something that's a must every day, right?
Yeah. Let me share a really cool, super easy, anyone can do it piece of advice for empaths. Yeah. Anytime you feel something, even if it's anything that you feel to the extreme, even if it's, wow, this is awesome, or, oh, this is not awesome, you place your hands on your body and you ask yourself, is this mine? Now, if you want a body pendulum, you can say, show me yes, and your body will probably fall in one direction. Show me no, your body will fall in the opposite direction. And you can say, is this feeling mine? If you get a no, don't engage in it. The Velvet Hammer will come hard.
Right.
If it is yours, open up your bioenergetic field and invite as much of it as you can. Because as your biofield fills, as your spiritual bioenergetic field cascades out and around you, we've got to stop giving away what's in us and start giving away what's flowing out of us, because it never ends. It's limitless.
Yeah. No, I agree. Oh my God, I'm getting chills. I love it. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's such a unique way of seeing it, right? So yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Okay.
So we can move on to the next question, which is, what does healing mean to you?
It means, so I'm going to do for me first.
Yeah.
What healing means to me is that I am aware as quickly as possible that I don't feel mostly awesome, and I take full responsibility for my thoughts, my feelings, and my experiences, and that I know that I have the power to heal myself. What healing means to me is a natural God-given gift for all of us, that 10 generations ago, the grandparents stopped teaching the grandchildren how to commune with Mother Earth and Father Heaven, and we don't believe we are that powerful anymore. What do I think healing could mean for others? That first of all, there's nothing wrong with you. Something's out of alignment or out of balance, and the only person that can truly figure that out is you. Yes, there are all kinds of diagnostic tools, and there are allopathic doctors, and there's metaphysicians, but nobody else is going to be doing your work for you.
Yeah.
And so healing means that you're going to do your own work honestly, with as much support as you can get, with whoever will be willing to be with you in it. You still have to do it yourself. And it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, and it's spiritual.
Yeah, definitely. It encompasses everything, right? Yeah,
for sure.
And I agree. Yeah, it's always an inside job, right? And this is something that's been big for me the last year, is that the only person standing in my way is myself, right? Nothing else. Like nobody has that power over me. So if something's not going my way, I go, okay, well, what am I doing here that is not allowing me to move forward? And that brings to that awareness and that healing, like you were saying, that self-healing, where it's like, well, I know I'm mostly awesome, but what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. Yeah. Amazing. So the next question is, what do you love most about your gifts and your healing talent?
This is going to sound weird, but what I love most is that for however many years I denied its existence, I denied my ability to see and to know and to be of enormous benefit by just showing up. Spirit never gave up on me. Never.
Yeah.
Like kicked my ass over my shoulders a few times, which I actually, that works for me. Yeah. That's how I get motivated. I think that I'm going to kind of just shift it around a little bit. What's most important to me is that I teach and I treat. And so that's what I'm most grateful for, is that that comes naturally to me. There's not a lot of effort in it, but there's so much passion. Like sometimes you gotta tone the passion down. And so I think that's what I love the most. I am abundantly filled with passion, and I know my purpose. So it keeps me, I have to do less work. Don't kid yourself. I still have to do a lot of work, but I have to do less work to stay in alignment with my truth.
Right, because you already have, and it's not that you need to have a path, but you already have, you kind of mapped out that like you said, that human being self of who you are, right? Mm-hmm. So when things are unaligned, it's really easy for you to kind of bring that awareness and go, oh, I'm unaligned here. Okay, well, let's see what stories am I telling, and you kind of switch and you can kind of bring yourself right back. And I think that's such key, because that's what I'm finding too with clients lately. Even just the question of like, do you know how to love? Do you know what love is? How do you love yourself? What do you think of yourself? Like, just easy questions that you think they're easy, but they're not. Like, we never question. We've never been questioned or never questioned ourselves of like, well, what do we want?
Right.
How does it, like, the society's telling us what we should be,
Right.
but nobody said, ask them, like, what do you want to be? What makes you feel good?
Yeah.
Follow your passion. What's your passion? Like, sometimes they don't even know that, right?
And, you know, especially, and I'm not minimizing this for men at all, but especially women born in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we were never asked those questions.
Right.
And if we asked them ourselves, we were called unfortunate names. We were put in unfortunate places. And, you know, I personally went through that. I was in a male-dominated industry, alcoholic beverage. I got to the top because I was ruthless. I was mean. I had no integrity. I did whatever I had to do to get that job done and to be better than everyone else. It was a competition. My whole life was a competition for the first 35 years, and I had to slay it. But that was because, as a woman, which I never felt like a woman, I always felt like a tomboy. I always wanted to do the cool things my brothers were doing. And so I had to be, that's not true. I told myself I had to be that, and I believed it. And my ego fought to the death to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dark Night of the Soul comes along and says, you are so far off track, we're going to beat you down. And best beat down ever.
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the lessons that your self-mastery taught me about developing my ego, that we don't have to, because our ego sometimes gets stuck at a certain age or a certain maturity. And you taught me that my ego can come with me. There's nothing wrong with my ego. My ego can mature with me. I just have to tell it that that is no longer a fear that we have, and that we're capable of surpassing or growing or learning from this. And I don't have to stay small, or I don't have to, like, you don't need to protect me from this. I am a mature and grown woman, right? So that's one lesson I did learn from that. It's like, no, I can develop my ego to come with me and be my partner instead of my enemy, right?
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a really important challenge that New Ageism has created, that ego is bad. We need to kill the ego. Ego, so as spirit energy, we chose a body so we could be in this third dimension. Our soul came in as our inner guide to fulfill our heart's desire, which in my program I share with you as your power energy and your trigger energy. But your ego energy is warrior. That's its only purpose and job, is to navigate the outside world and to let you know when you're out of alignment. So if you've been out of alignment your whole life, all these things feel bad. Ego says being you feels bad. And so you think that you're saying these horrible things to yourself, and that your ego is so hard on you. Your ego was actually trained that that's how to protect you. Right. And so you're right. You get into that trauma energy, your ego stays in that trauma energy, your body ages, and your soul is dying. It's crying because there's no way for your inner mission or your inner task to be explored when ego's stuck in the past, right, or way too far into the future.
Right. Yeah. 100%, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that was a very unique lesson that I've learned, and I like to teach too, that we have to make friends with all the parts of who we are, right? Like, and I love how you mentioned the warrior, because it took the connotation of ego to No, he's my defender. He keeps me safe. And I like to think of my shadow self too, in the sense of like my shadow self's there to protect me. It's
100%.
not there to shame me or to make me feel bad about myself or that I'm different than everybody else. It's just trying to protect me, saying, hey, there's something wrong here, and I'm just making you feel all these things, so then you pay attention, kind of thing, right? So, and so the next question is kind of the same, but I don't know if you can answer it if you like. It's how do your gifts and talents make you unique, right? Because you have a very a large umbrella of the things that you do, and I think your energetic work is quite unique.
Yeah. I think that combined with absolutely knowing my purpose as a spiritual Zenagogue, and that a Zenagogue, again, is a tour guide. I'm the tour guide of the human experience and a translator of the human being user manual, along with my ability to channel, my ability to intuitively see disease in the body, my ability to hear soul when I ask questions. Bringing those two pieces together, it is very unique, because most people with my gifts, my education level, my skill level, they want to teach university graduate spiritual seekers. Well, university graduate spiritual seekers have already done 15 or 20 years of work to get there. I want the elementary level spiritual seeker, the guy that's like, what the hell am I doing here? I don't want to be on this planet anymore. I don't even know what this body's for. Everything sucks. Why do I want that person? Because instantly, in one session, I am going to be instrumental in helping them change their lives. And so for me, as male, which is a task-oriented energy, masculine, which is an action-oriented, fast-moving, doer-type energy, and taker, which is big vision, no detail orientation at all, I just want to grab a hold of you, give you what you need, put you in a place that's really going to help you, and then move along. Like, for you, for example, I know you would love working with someone for like 2 or 3 hours and then maybe months at a time. I'd like to work with 19 people in one day, have everybody be like, yeah, I got something, and leave.
Yeah.
And so that's not necessarily just my skills and gifts, but my absolute knowing of why I'm on this planet have come together to say, just find as many spiritual seekers as you can. You're doing a great job, spirit energy. You're doing a great job, human body. Keep it up.
Yeah. No, and I feel too that as a, I don't say healer, but as a energy worker or even a Reiki master, the further I go on my journey, the more, like you said, the need to reach more people and know and offer them a safe place to be who they are, right? So yeah, I got that calling up about a couple of years ago, where I started doing classes and kind of started to reach a bigger audience. But you're right. I do love my kind of one-on-one and my small classes, right? But I understand. But I mean, I've attended your classes too, so I understand the impact that you leave with people in a short amount of time. So yeah, I love that. So the next question is, what are some of the projects you are working on right now?
Oh, Maria, I have a serious problem. Like even my own self is saying, what are you doing? So on June 6th, I started full-time school because I didn't have anything else to do.
Right. Yeah.
And I am in the process of becoming licensed as a psychedelic assisted therapist. And so specifically, I work with psilocybin to elevate the spiritual conscious awareness so that I can walk people through their unique to them human being user manual. So there's that. In the beginning of the year, I started an Ayurvedic certification, which I have put on pause because full-time school and that certification was a tiny bit overwhelming. I'm in the process of creating a program called Earth School. So I want to start on a monthly basis teaching the cosmic calendar. And if you have a minute, I'm going to share a little bit about that. Is that okay? Okay.
Sure, yes, please.
So the cosmic calendar is what mystery schools and mystics have always followed. It's a belief that Mother Earth's energy and cosmic intelligence energy conspire to guide us in a very specific area of life in 30-day cycles. And so in modern day mysticism, we just follow the Julian calendar. And so earlier I told you that there are 12 earth lessons or earth school lessons. Physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, character, they're all self. Well, January, February, March, April, and May. And so each month is the energy of Mother Earth and Father Heaven conspiring to, I'm going to use this word, it's not true, but it's dramatic, force us to confront our shadow stories in those areas. It's not a mistake that everyone in the Western Hemisphere uses New Year's resolution to get more healthy in January. It's actually the frequency and vibration of the planet saying this is physical well-being energy. What are you going to do? It's also why by the 1st of February, everyone's like, oh God, that's over. Thank you. Because we move into emotional competence and in March, mental capacity. And so what I'd like to be able to do is next level my self-mastery program and start teaching monthly earthly school lessons and provide bioenergetic emotional trauma release. So deprogramming the shadow stories, bringing them out into the open, talking about how they relate to that area of life. So for example, right now, we're coming into the end of June, which is intimate love relationship. So everything in this month has been preparing you to be the best version of you, to be the best version in a partnership. If you're in a partnership and it feels wonky this month, that's because there's work for the two of you to do. If it feels awesome, it's because you're doing your work. If you're not in a relationship and you don't want to be, it's self-love is amplifying within you. If you're not in a relationship and you want to be, you're literally given prospects at the level of frequency and vibration you're currently living. The cosmic calendar is one of the most incredible guidance systems that we have, and it's actually the mechanism is right behind our hara, behind our belly button, where there are 80,000 nerves in the physical body. There is actually an energetic beacon that draws those lessons in, and if we're unaware of them, it can be very unattractive.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I've got going on. I'm getting certified in psychedelic assisted therapy. I'm doing my Ayurvedic certification. I'm starting Earth School. And my director of client care, Allison, and I have decided to go different directions. I'm seriously going in this psychedelic direction, and she's got some really cool stuff going on. We're going to remain best friends, but we're going to disentangle each other from the stress of having to maintain a business partnership and best friendship. Is that a word? It is now. Best friendship. So in intimate love relationship, while we don't have an intimate love relationship, we do have that intimate soul relationship. So this whole month literally has been disentangling those two roles. So a lot on my plate.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but it all sounds very exciting.
Oh, so good.
So the next question, I know those are the projects that are coming and you're working
Yep.
on, but I also want to let my audience know about your services. So what are you, what do you provide now, and why?
Yep. Yeah. So I provide a trail guide through human being user manual to self-mastery. And actually right now I have a really great promotion on. First, and unfortunately it's in US dollars because it's running through Facebook, but it's still a really great deal. So for 79 US dollars, instead of 179 Canadian dollars, you can do a 50-minute soul reveal reading. In that, I channel your divine assignment, the 3 reasons that you came to human being, and I channel for you your generational trauma, the fear stories that have been controlling and compelling you. With that information, you have everything you need to know the exact name, the frequency and vibration of your shadow work, should you choose to do it. It comes with an online container called Soul Reveal Reading that gives you everything that you need to start that shadow work on your own, but obviously is a launching pad into doing my entire soul healing protocol program, but not required. You get that portal for the rest of my life. In it is a 5-part series on understanding your divine assignment. The divine assignment itself is a 38-minute video. It gives you the definitions of all of the generational traumas, all of the divine assignment energies, and it offers you access to me through a private Facebook group. So you can private Facebook message me, email me, or text me any questions. And I also offer a complimentary integration call. So within 3 weeks of having that session, should you have chosen to do your homework, I'm available to support you in seeing where you're out of alignment in those Earth School, how your fear stories are activating, controlling, and compelling you. So that's really cool. My Soul Healing Protocol program is a 24-week online journey. The first 2 or 3 weeks is independent, self-driven learning. Then there's 6 one-on-one sessions with me where through energy medicine, we deprogram the generational trauma. We review your trigger and your power energy so you know exactly why you chose this timeline, and the core values that you came to human being with. We create what's called a map, your human being, your unique to you human being user manual. You'll have a visual of that. And then we take 14 weeks and we reprogram all 12 of those areas of life to a higher frequency and vibration. It's life-changing. That program has 2 optional weekly coaching calls for the rest of my life. It has an alumni support program. So there's the Soul Reveal Reading, Soul Healing Protocol, and if you graduate the Soul Healing Protocol, I have a 9-month practitioner's certificate. So I certify you to become a bioenergetic therapist. You can register under Natural Health Practitioners of Canada, and we do, I teach the basics of energy medicine, chakra balancing, metaphysical anatomy, Akashic records, psychic surgery, the business of being a practitioner, and in 9 months, you're a certified bioenergetic therapist.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Like my spidey senses are going, I already have things that I'm working on, but I'm like, okay, I'll put that on the,
Yeah, very good. Well, just so that you know, the next class starts the first Monday in September.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right, for sure. And so now the key to all of this is, where can people find you or get a hold of you?
Yep. So my personal brand is tracytrimble.ca, TRACI.ca. My portal is selfawareness.academy. Those are the best ways. On Facebook, I'm Tracy Trimble PhD, and I think on Insta, which unless it links to Facebook, this is the first time I've ever been on Insta, but I think it's Tracy Trimble .phd or something like that. So those are the ways. Email is always great. Facebook private message is good. Email is Tracy, TRACI, at tracytrimble.ca. Yeah. And I was really hoping that I was going to be able to use my computer because I had planned on pasting the link to the the discounted soul reveal reading for you guys, but honestly, I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah. So, but they can get to the link through Facebook. I know you've been.
It's a Facebook advertising. So what I'll do tonight is I will put that on my Facebook page, Tracy Trimble PhD. It won't be fancy because I don't want to really advertise that discount. I really don't want to advertise that discount. But it will say, hey guys, whoever was on Insta with Maria and I tonight, here's what I was talking about. And then anyone can get that. And again, I apologize, it's in US dollars, but 85% of my Facebook clientele are in the US, so it makes sense for me to run a promotion for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my 10 questions. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure to connect with you again. You've taught me a few key words now that I'm like, I'm going to start using that now.
Love it. I love it.
Like the ego as a warrior and some other things as well. So cool. It's been a pleasure. So thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you.
I'm wishing you all the best to your amazing programs and your learning as well, and your endeavors in the future. So hopefully we'll be able to connect again somehow, or I'll join one of your classes or something like
For
that.
sure. We'll see each other again. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to have watched you become this amazing sauce of amazing sauce. So thank you for allowing me to witness that.
Oh, thank you for being my teacher and my mentor. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I still use a lot of your lessons and teach them as well. So
I'm grateful for that too. The more we can share what we have, the better this planet's going to be.
Definitely. All right, everyone. Send you lots of love and have a wonderful summer because I won't be back until this fall. So I will be putting this interview on my YouTube channel, which I just opened up. So just look for in the next couple of 3-4 days. I will be downloading that.
Sounds
all right.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome back.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone.
See you.